and that like these two maps, because it's all I've shown today. That's alright. I like these two maps too. There's a reason why they've been in the rotation for so long, and why people like them. So starting up here, spawning in the upper left-hand corner of King Sejong Station. Down 1-0 in this best of 3, our Orange Terran player, Frantic Death. And spawning in the bottom right-hand side of King Sejong Station. Up 1-0, looking to close this out in a quick 2-0 series, is our Red Zerg player, Psychosis. Psychosis employing the same extractor trick that he did in Game 1. Get a little bit of extra mining time out of that drone. So Psychosis, as we saw on the load screen, as I said in Game 1, is a Platinum Zerg player, and he plays pretty much at the Platinum level, always that I've seen him anyway. Frantic Death, here in the upper left, is newer to the Older Gamers clan. And so I haven't had a chance to see him play very much, though from what I saw in Game 1, matched with Psychosis very well. So I suspect we'll see some good things out of Frantic Death in the future. Maybe here in Game 2. Looking to make it a 1-1 match to go to a Game 3. Little worker battle down here. I think Psychosis has lost track of his drone. There he goes. Now he's got it. And gets it out of there in time. Meanwhile, the natural goes down for Psychosis. Frantic Death getting a good scout, seeing that the hatchery went down before the spawning pool. First gas also going down there for Psychosis. Already mining gas here on the Terran side. Reactor going down on the early barracks as the second supply depot finishes up. Overlord camped out right in the natural to see everything that's going on. Spawning pool finishing up now for Psychosis, right about now. And the natural finishes up right about the same time. 2 queens in production. And 4 zerglings. So we'll see what he's going to do with these zerglings, if it's going to be for a part of a bigger pressure push or just in case. Factory going down second for Frantic Death. Pretty standard for Terran these days. So this was not quite the same aggressive build that we saw from Frantic Death the first time. The barracks was first followed by the command center. So a little more, again, a little more typical from what you see from Zergs nowadays, or from Terrans nowadays. Speed started now for Psychosis as his workers continue to mine gas. There goes the first 2 zerglings. Overlord's going to all corners of the map to cut off the drop lanes. 2 zerglings staying at home down here. Another queen on production for creep purposes. Loading up the bunker. Hold off any early push. Start working on the wall. Armory going down early for Frantic Death, so looks like we might see some Hellbat play here in game number 2. You know, as much as I have the Zerg bias, I do like the timing on the Hellbats. I think it's a good change that they made, and to keep Zerg players on their toes. I think it's given Terran a little bit more of a, you know, that hybrid race that we see. You know, can be aggressive, or can you know, or can sit back and play a macro game. So I think it gives that ability not to have to research the Hellbat upgrade gives a lot of ability for Zerg or for Terran to be able to put pressure on that maybe they couldn't before. So first Hellbat is on the field, so yeah, we do see Hellbat production. And the Overlord sees it all. Two more Hellbats in production right now. And are we going to see two? Yep, there are two medevacs on the way as well. So not only are we going to see Hellbat play, we might see some Hellbat drop play. One Hellion coming across the map. Gonna take the watchtower, gonna take out the Zergling. Hellion coming across the Older Gamers logo here on the map. Just a reminder to everybody on stream, if you're not a member of the clan Older Gamers, that is what this tournament is that we're broadcasting today. If you're over 25 and want to participate in events like this, check out this website you see on your screen, togsc2.com, for more information about the Older Gamers. Overlord parked in the middle of the base, seeing everything, sees the early armory, has got to think that there is Hellbat coming forth, and he'd be right. First medevac coming this way with Hellbats. Zerglings rallied to pick it off. It's going to boost away and come into the main base with the first two Hellbats. Two more Hellbats doing work down here in the natural, disrupting a lot of mining time. And here are the two in the main working on some units. Looks like he's forgot about him though. He's going to lose one to the Queens. Lose the other one to Hydras. Hydra's out on the field already for Psychosis. So after all that, Psychosis is at a 10th supply lead with Hydra's out on the field. Worker supply actually favors Frantic Death right now, 38 to 36. Third base is up, but no saturation on it whatsoever. So yeah, the unit, you'd like to see a little bit more from Psychosis in the way of worker production. But he's focusing on those Hydras. 11 Hydras on the field to go with 15 Zerglings. Camped out here at the third. +2 ranged weapons on the way. +2 Carapace is already in play. So here come the Hydras. Looks like all these Zerglings are rallied to that one Hydra right there. Those Zerglings want to be a Hydra when they grow up. They are their mommy's a role model for them. That's not going to be good. Loses one. Then he's going to park out by it. That's not good either. He's going to move away from the Widow Mine. Smart idea. So Psychosis is a little bit supply blocked with the Viking work that was done over here, and I apologize that y'all missed that on stream. Vikings took out a Overlord. And currently Frantic Death holds about a 27 supply lead. And thank you to the Overseer for taking care of that on the Widow Mine. So the Lings are going to run by over here and do a little bit of work on the main, or on the third rather, while Widow Mine shot goes off and takes some damage there to the Hydras. Planetary is going to make short work of these along with these Hellbats over here. And Psychosis has to regroup down about 15 supply. So this third base is getting a little bit of saturation to it. The other two are pretty well saturated because you could use a few more drones at each one. but should be on good 3 base economy here very soon for Psychosis. Roaches to join the Hydra army. Against a big mech army like this, though, I don't know if that's going to be the right call. There's a lot of tanks. Holy tanks, Batman. 40 supply lead for Frantic Death right now, with more tanks and more Hellbats coming. Let's see what he's going to do with all this. Surely to make short work of that. A few Zerglings coming out here to the tower. Just to see what's going on. We'll get a good view of this lane with that Zelnaga tower. But he's going to come right up the middle. The big mech army. That is a big mech army. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 factories producing. Would be producing if we weren't supply blocked. But 5 factories worth of mech production. Another command center and another supply depot going down to get a little bit more production, but 6 more Hellbats coming forth. A couple of Widow Mines on the high ground. Sees the creep spread, knows where he's at. Gonna siege up all these tanks. Oh. Makes a scan for the creep tumor, ends up taking a little bit of friendly fire. Supply very close right now, 157 to 152 for Frantic Death. Third base getting saturated there. Full saturation on the third. Fourth base going down right now for... And Vipers on the map. Okay, so Vipers could be the equalizer in this, because tanks would normally handle this army very well, even with the upgrades that we have. +1 Carapace armor just now finishing up for Zerg. So they'll be on 2-1 with the army. Locust upgrade is complete, but I don't see any swarm hosts. And there's a scan. Oh, Blinding Cloud on the tanks. Oh, Blinding Cloud on the other tanks. Yep, that is the equalizer right there. And we'll watch Frantic Death's supply melt. 133. So that's... Yeah, so these are back. But there's just not enough firepower there to take out this whole army. And just like that, 30 supply lead for Psychosis. $12 more roaches on the map, or on the way. More tanks coming for Frantic Death. It's a small tank army, going to try to siege up on the high ground. Hold the high ground. And picks off those Widow Mines just before the timer resets on them. So we're just getting some drones over here to the 4th. Got a drop coming inbound from Frantic Death. And a push coming in, 5th base coming down here for Psychosis. Push, but not really. He sees the drop, so he has vision here, here. Going to come in right along where this Overlord is, so he's rallying all these troops back over. There's a swarm host on the map, 3 more in production. Got 3 on the map, so that'll be 6 total. All the Roach Hydra army back here to hold off this drop that never happened. Swarm host, 4 swarm hosts coming, 7 more on the way. So there's 6 with 7 more, so that'll be 13 swarm hosts total for our Zerg player. Gonna bust down the rocks at his own natural to give himself another move out. More tanks, and more tanks coming for Frantic Death. It's nice having the supply of all of these factories. Swarm host count is getting very high. 2 Vipers still out here on the field. 3 Vipers on the field, which will help with both the Locusts and the Roach Hydra army. 3-2 now on the way for our Zerg player. So here comes the fourth base for Frantic Death. Sees it with the Zerglings down here, and he's going to rally Locusts over here to deny it. Here comes the army. And Psychosis is going to split around and try to pinch him off here with the oh, and there's the Blinding Cloud again. Just makes those tanks completely useless and lets the Roach Hydra equalize against those. Swarm hosts are going to reroute and come after this tank line that's over here. I think if he dropped a scan, they might be in range. If he were to scan, I don't know if these first few are in range of these tanks or not. I think they might be just out of range. Big supply lead, almost 40 supply lead. Here's the Raven. The Raven can certainly see him as a detector. And there goes the Seeker missile. More blinding clouds. Vikings are going to clean up the Vipers. .25 supply lead, but the Vipers are no longer on the field, so this might be a little bit in favor of the Terran player at this point. Good saturation on the fourth base. Nothing going on the fifth yet other than producing units, which cannot be overstated. This third's going to get denied by the Locusts. It's on fire, so it'll burn down if he doesn't move it. I just don't think he can get there in time. I think he's resigned to losing that one. Swarm hosts are going to move to the high ground to try to put a little bit of pressure on these siege tanks over here. He's going to split them. Left 6 of them here. Bringing 6 of them back this way. Scan goes down. Sees the swarm host with nothing with him. Going to unsiege some tanks and move over there. It looks like he's going to take care of those. SCVs did get the repair off on it. But here's the army, and it's going to take it out, and there's nothing he can do about that with all those Hydras. A couple of SCVs go down for the trouble. So those swarm hosts were hung out to dry over here. I think Psychosis might have just forgot about them. Scan sees the whole army. More Vipers on the field. Vikings are going to take some of them down, but there's the Blinding Cloud again. Oh, so strong against the mass amount of tanks. He probably will be able to clean up most of these tanks. They all go down. 90 supply lead, 100 supply lead now. And that's it for this one. GG is called and Frantic Death goes down. Psychosis takes a very hard fought and a very skilled 2-0 victory in this match. So I'm going to go to break while I load up the fourth and what may be final best of 3 match of the evening, unless one of the teams that hasn't played yet gets back with me and lets me know they want to play. But for now, I'm going to send it to the commercial screens and get the brackets updated and get the fourth match set up. If you are on stream right now, can you let me know? There were some issues with hesitation and video quality a little bit earlier. Can anyone confirm whether that is the case or not? Just video. I was told audio was fine and video was hesitating a little bit. So if anybody's out there and can confirm, please let me know. Thank you. Alright, folks, welcome back. I'm not sure how many we have left, but we are on what very well may be the last match of the night to be broadcast between myself, 12-7, and Federally. I will attempt to be as neutral and third party on this replay as I can. Obviously, I know what happens. I know what I saw from my standpoint, but you all don't. So I will attempt to stream this and cast this as if I have no idea what's going on, and call what I see. So, again, I am 12-7. I'm your caster for tonight. I appreciate you all for showing up. I know it's late in some parts of the world, and it's also Wednesday and pretty much everywhere else, so not the most ideal time for a late cast, but it's what we had to work with, and so, again, I appreciate you being here. So for anybody who's left, we'll go ahead and jump into the fourth and likely final match of the night. Alright, so can anybody sense a theme yet? And by that I'm talking about maps. We've had Overgrowth and King Sejong Station all night, and then game one in the best of three between 12-7 and Federally starts on Overgrowth as well. So introducing the players here in the bottom left-hand side of the map. Spawning as the yellow Zerg player, it is the Older Gamers 12-7. And in the upper right-hand portion of the map, spawning as the pink Protoss player, again, another new member of the Older Gamers, is Federally. Now, I will highlight again, there have been a lot of newer members of our team playing in this tournament, and this is a tournament for the Older Gamers clan. Thank you to Atticus, who is the brainchild behind the match. Without him, none of this would be possible. He tapped me to cast these matches. In Saturday, about a week and a half from now, there will be the quarterfinal round with all the winners from tonight going back at it, along with two players that got buys who you will see for the first time on Saturday. But for now, we're in the round of 16 between two gold players. Pretty standard openings for both. Pool first for 12-7 and Gateway first for our Protoss Federally. Hatch goes down after the spawning pool. Pretty standard opener for Zerg these days. Drone getting a scout off. Seeing that it's pretty standard. Both gases up. Wonder if he noticed if there's workers in there. So I understand there have been some streaming problems over these last couple of series, and I apologize for that. I've been checking my settings through the course of the night, and the best I can come up with is I might have an ISP issue. So I apologize for any herky-jerky. I understand sound is coming through well, so I hope that my voice, my charming voice, is making up for anything that your eyes aren't telling you. First couple of Zerglings on the map. First Queen pops out for 12-7. So Overlord is seeing everything going on down here with the natural going up. Coupled with the early scout, he's got to know that there's really not anything to be too terribly worried about at this point. Which you can tell by the constant production of drones. Extractor's done, but no drones are in it yet. There go the drones First 3 drones go to start mining gas at the 5-minute mark. Second and third queens about finished up for 12-7 as well. And nothing but drones on the way. A couple of zerglings hanging out, seeing if there's anything going on. Back at home, pretty straightforward, macro-looking setup for the Zerg player. Second gas going down. Speed should get started very soon. 4 queens, 3 queens on the map, 1 on the way. Mothership core aggression on the Zergling running them off. Gonna see what's going on at the third base. Warp gate research about to finish up for Federally. Four more Zerglings coming out, speed underway. And let's see, and the third hatchery going down. Worker production's about even, 25 apiece, now 26 for Federally, so never a good sign for Zerg for the other race to be ahead of worker production. Wall going up with 2 Evo chambers and a Roach Warren at the wall. Wall also up for Federally with 2 Stalkers standing guard in the gap there. So it looks like we're trenched in. Forward pylon going down for Federally. Zerglings and a queen found that there. Speed just about finished up, 15 seconds away now for 12-7. Spines and Spores going down for static defense in both the natural and the main. Third base just finishes for 12-7 as well. And another round of drones. Still pretty even in worker count. Overlord coming to see what's going on over here. Blink being researched at the moment, about halfway done. 2 gateways completed. Should expect to see probably a couple more coming soon. Roaches and Burrow being researched. We'll see if that leads to anything. 1-1 upgrades, ranged upgrades for 12-7 coming down, as well as +1 ground attack for Federally. Federally also doing a good job producing nothing but workers at this point. No reason not to. Haven't seen any aggression. Blink's almost finished up. DT Shrine goes down. That does 2 more gateways. 1 there and 1 there. So 4 gate with DTs. Could be trouble for this third base with no defense there. Some Zerglings poking around over here by the watchtower. One, two, three, 4 warp gates. Some DTs being warped in over here on the forward pylon. Let's see if anything comes of those. Roach is now being produced for 12-7. 12-7's in trouble here, being down almost 15 workers at this point. He either needs to figure out some sort of all-in or he needs to figure out how to make some workers. And as I say that, 4 drones coming on the map at this point. Roach speed on its way. 5 more roaches coming on the field as well. So 12-7 ignoring the fact that he's behind in worker count. We're going to evacuate the third base as the TTs start to do work on the third. Trying to buy a little time. There is there's the overseer, going to help clean up these DTs. 12-7 way up in supply, 82 to 69. 77 now. These roaches are going to clean up that pylon as the rest of the army maybe makes a push. Hatchery going back down for 12-7 at the third. Federally supply blocked with that pylon going down. Probe coming out to replace it gets picked off. 12-7's up a good amount with 21 drones in production. So much for not having any drones coming. Big round of drones, and that'll help 12-7's economy substantially. So roaches are going to poke at this here. 1-1 upgrades on those roaches. Going to take out the cannon. Still 20 supply lead, backs off for now. Was force fielded out, had some stuff that Mothership Core that he couldn't deal with, so 12-7 turns back to the watchtower. Saturates the third that's not even up yet. 60-54, so the drone lead is now in favor of the Zerg, and as well as a 24 supply lead. Eight more pylons going down now for Federally, so say no to the supply block. Immortal's now in production and being chrono boosted out, it looks like, out of 2 robo bays. So with all the roaches, Immortal is the tech du jour. Hydra Den was up a while ago. Looks like Hydra Speed is being researched. +2 ranged weapon upgrade being researched. 12-7's having a little bit of problem with gas. A little shortage of gas supply. Third base is saturated. Natural is saturated. Main base is saturated. Overseer gets picked off. Hydra Speed is completed. 5 Hydras on the way. Gas is fully saturated at the natural. Really needs to get gases at the third for as much as he's producing gas units. Roaches and Hydras. 8 more roaches coming to the field for 12-7. Charge and +3 weapons now on the way for Federally, so Zealots with charge could do some work against this army. And here come more stalkers. I think they already have blink. So roaches with a little bit of Hydra mixed in. 40 supply lead for 12-7. More roaches streaming across the map to rally with this army. 12-7's got about bottom half of the map pretty well covered in creep. And here's a big engagement with roaches and Hydras. Hydra's going to be able to, looks like they're focusing down the Mothership Core. They're going to get the Mothership Core. And do a little work on the wall, take out a pylon. Going to sneak in and get some work done. +2 attacks now close. Timing was a little bit off on this attack, and it looks like he's going to lose most of it. Still a 40 supply lead just about for 12-7 as he turns and walks away with the damage done. 12 more Hydras coming out at this time. 63-57 the worker supply between the two players. Third base fully saturated with gas now. Still having a tough time keeping it in stock though. So here come the Hydras that just popped. 10 more roaches on the way. Lots of pylons coming down, or what do we got here? Cannons. Cannons coming to fortify the third base. You know, 12-7's going to be looking for that soon. Meanwhile, fourth base goes down for 12-7, presumably for more gas. Infestation pit going down. It looks like he's about finished. Just started his +2 carapace, so he'll need hive before he gets to 3-3. Here comes a push, a 2-1 timing it looks like. Sees the third, sees the cannons. Gonna lose the overseers, nope, gets him out of the way. Take out the pylons. 2 probes down, 3 probes, 4. Army engages. 12-7 turns around to engage the army, pushes it back and goes back to work at the third base of Federally. "17 workers lost at that base. for federally. That hurts. 40 supply down. Workers are now 59 to 49. So federally was actually up quite a bit in drones at that point. And 12-7 turns and goes back. Goes all the way back. Two Colossus out on the field. Hive underway for 12-7. Between the Colossus and the Immortals, this isn't the best composition for Roach Hydra, and now two Templars on the way. Oh, a couple of poor Hydras get rallied into the mass there. Federally coming back, only 5 supply down at this point. With those Zealots with charge, with +3 attack. Spire on the way for 12-7. He must have seen the Colossus. Third base going back down for federally. One random Hydra hanging out here at the third. And he's going to get picked off. 12-7 built back up. 17 swarm hosts on the way. 17 swarm hosts. That's one way to take care of this army. Gonna go back and push at the third. Federally rallied at the... They just missed each other in that little choke. Gonna get a cancel on the third. Oh, takes it out. Doesn't even get a cancel. So here are the swarm hosts. About to engage. You can burrow him. Hope there's no detection there. So here come the locusts to push back the parade. Here come the rest of the units to support. Force fields go down to help block off. He lost what? He had 17, 12 on the map, so he lost 5 of those swarm hosts in that exchange. Corruptors on the way now to help out with some of the Colossus. And the locusts are going to go to work on the wall. Main army's hanging out over here to deny the third. So as long as he can't get a third, the economy's going to suffer. He still has plenty of minerals there, but he's completely mined out on his main. So won't be able to produce a whole lot longer. Main army engages at the top of the map. Main army of 12-7 trying to get away. Locusts strung out for a good part of the map, rallying to I don't know where. Right about here. Still a 172 to 118 supply situation. Corruptor's going to get one of the Colossus. Corruptors get one of the Colossus before they're going to die. Here comes the stream of locusts to do some work before they die. Would like to see him uproot these swarm hosts and move them a little bit. Oh, there's detection in the ball now. Some roaches coming to get just cleaned out. Still getting a little bit of work done. Going to cut off these zealots coming in to reinforce. Locust still doing a little bit of work. Help out with the zealots. 127 to 77 the supply now. Ultra on the way for 12-7. More roaches just popped. And there's just not enough here to defend these Colossus from these Corruptors. These Corruptors are going to go to town on these Colossus. Locusts are going to follow them. And just a handful of Stalkers are going to repel these Corruptors. +1 melee attack on the way. Melee attack was never started. Swarm hosts are going to move, get into a little better position. Zerglings are now on the way. I know there's at least one Ultra on the map. +3 Carapace on the way for 12-7. And 2 more Templars coming out for Federally. Who is down to no mining bases, very few minerals left for Federally. If 12-7 can hold off or deny this third one more time, that should be all she wrote. Lots of units lost between the two of them. Good 25-minute match between these two. So, Locusts are coming in to see what's going on at the third. And they're going to try to get another deny on us here. Gets a cancel. Third base coming down on the other side. There's an Overlord right here who can see the whole thing though. Swarm host move to get Locust coming from this side. Gonna go deny the third with the main army. That may be it, because I think he's out of minerals up here. Yep, one patch of minerals right up here. So no third on the bottom, no third on the top. Gonna try one more time to secure this base. Takes out all the swarm hosts that are left. 12-7 just gonna mark. No, he's gonna engage the army. Good upgrades, lots of roaches. Gonna focus down on the. Doesn't have really any protection for those Colossus, so they're gonna go down. And that's gonna spell about the end of it. More roaches coming over to take care of business. $90 supply lead for now for 12-7. This is just about it with no more mining. 500 minerals in the bank. Federally's not going to be able to come back from this. 28-minute match ends up in favor of our Zerg player 12-7. So we'll keep the train rolling. I don't know if anybody's still with me, but we're going to see this through until the end. Map number 2 in this best of 3, coming forth on King Sejong Station. So I think there's the theme of the night, is King Sejong Station and Overgrowth. We'll see if Federally can push this to a game 3 and give us a different map. Up 1-0 in this best of 3, second game in the best of 3, spawning in the upper left-hand corner of King Sejong Station. It's the Older Gamers 12-7. And on the bottom, in the right-hand bottom side of King Sejong Station, down 1-0, needing this game to force a deciding game 3 from the Older Gamers, the Pink Protoss player, Federally. Well, I have not heard from either of the other two sets of players that they're going to play tonight, so I think that this game 2 and potentially game 3 are going to be the last games on our stream tonight. I hope you have enjoyed it so far, and we'll see how many more games we have left. I am, of course, 12-7. I know I'm casting my own match. I know I am talking about myself in third person. Just trying to bring a little bit of professionalism to this unprofessional mess. But yes, spoiler alert, I do know what happened in this match. I do know who won. No, I'm not going to spoil it for you. So 12-7 going hatch first on this map, which can be risky sometimes against a Protoss player. There goes the spawning pool right on time. Probe comes in and sees the hatchery. Comes in and sees the spawning pool just started, so he knows it's a hatch first build as well. See if that changes what he's going to do. Loading up on gas. Lots of gas early on. 3 workers in each of the gas in the main. Cybercore coming down. Hatchery just about finished up for 12-7. First gas going down for 12-7 as well. Hatchery seconds away from finishing here. There it is. Queens get started at the main. 12-7 sees nothing going on at the first base, or at the natural rather, for Federally. Second queen gets started at the natural. Quick roach roaring. Roach roaring going down before 5 minutes. Second gas coming up. It looks like this is going to be a big roach push. A couple of Zerglings doing work on a probe, trying to maybe set a forward pylon. Stargate just about finishing up for Federally. So it looks like we're going to have early roach timing versus early Stargate. Last time I checked, roaches don't shoot up, so this could be a little bit of a problem for 12-7 in this game 2. Second base going down. Overlord sees it all. Nothing producing from the Stargate yet. Oracle first thing out for Federally out of the Stargate. So maybe it's just a harass tool and he's going to transition into something else. Even still, roaches still don't shoot up, so. Warp gate just about finished up. No forward pylons on the map yet, but it's still early. First roach in production. Yeah, there's the first roach on the map. Lair being morphed in early, so yeah, it looks like he's going for early roach speed. Getting lots of gas so he can build lots of roaches, I'm assuming. 8 more roaches coming out. Very roach heavy. This is approaching all-in standards. Here comes the Oracle. Here comes the Oracle. What's the Oracle going to do? Meanwhile, we got a Void Ray coming up and another Stargate being reproduced back in the base of Federally. There's the Stargate and there's the Void Ray. Oracle's going to hang out over here, and the roaches are going to move. Roach speed on the way. Modest supply lead for 12-7 at this point. And here comes the Oracle to do some work. Let's count the kills. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is bad. 4 probe kills, 5 probe drone kills. Queen's coming in to help out to push back, but 5 workers lost in a very greedy build, and he's got to produce drones. He's got 7 drones on the way. So, does he have enough to cause damage with what's on the map right now, which is 14 roaches? 14 roaches is a lot at 8.5 minutes. But when you have Void Rays, number 2 about to spawn, number 3 also being produced, again, roaches don't shoot up, so this could be a problem. Oracle's back off in the corner over there. More roaches on the way. Roach speed is just about finishing up. Is this the timing that he's waiting for? Roach speed is completed now. 6 more drones on the way, so it looks like this is going to be a poke to do some damage, with maybe some transition behind. 30 drones to 30 probes at this point. And here comes the roaches. Gonna take out the pylon. 3, 4, 5. 5 worker kills. 7 worker kills for 12-7. So able to even out a little bit. Gonna push into the main. Get that pylon, maybe try to supply block. 9 worker kills. But 4, and there goes the Overseer. 4 Void Rays with 1 more on the way. 12 roaches on the field. Hydra Den coming down now. Seeing the Stargate play. Gonna need something to hold that off because there's Queens aren't gonna do a ton against this many Void Rays. 12-7 did manage to supply block federally, so what he's got on the field is what he's got. Oracle's back to doing work, fighting the Queen, not going after the drones. Queen's going to try to micro away. 4, 5 workers, 6 workers. Queen's coming in for support, going to take out the Oracle. Oracle did some good work. I think 11 worker kills total to 9 worker kills for 12-7 with the little roach push. So much more cost effective. Losses you can see are over 1,000 more resources lost for 12-7 in the early game. 2 spores for defense here at the natural. Let's see if they'll be able to do anything. More hydras on the way. 4 hydras on the map. 6 more on the way. So more roach hydra play from 12-7 at this point. And he's going to scoot his way across the map and see what he can see. More hydras coming. 2 extractors going down. 12-7 using every mineral and every bit of gas that he can use. So 5 more hydras coming. 13 hydras on the field, 9 roaches, 2 more hydras to go. Here comes some more hydras across the field. So very hydra heavy versus the very void ray heavy from federally. Still producing off at 2 Stargates. Well, stop production. Just droning up at this point, building the wall. Level 1 weapons about to finish up. I don't even think I've seen a evolution pit. Oh, this is cute. Leaving the hydras behind, just pushing with the roaches. Here come the air units. And now the hydras are going to come in and try to do some work. 1 void ray down. 2 void rays go down. 3 go down. There's a 4th. You gonna get the 5th one? Not gonna get the 5th one. So supply's very even at this point. 58 to 56. Worker count quite a bit in favor of federally, 42 to 32. And I think that's evident by the early pressure by 12-7. 7 hydras on the map. 16 drones in production, however, as the third base completes for 12-7. So I foresee that we're going to see a saturated third here in the very near future. First evolution chamber going down at the 15-minute mark for 12-7. That's kind of late. Actually, it's very late. Building the void ray count back up. 2 in production, 5 on the field. Third Stargate goes down. Still no third base, at least over here that 12-7 can see. And we know that there's no third at all. So Federally's going to try to do this off of 2 bases. Speed upgrade for Hydra is just about finished up. Full saturation on the natural. Main is saturated, third base well on its way. More roaches and hydras on the way. Takes out the overlord. Supply blocks for a moment. I think this is where you're going to see the third come down for Federally. Certainly can't sustain this much Stargate play on 2 base. Phoenix transition now. Love to see 12-7 transition some of these workers to the third. A little oversaturation. Here comes the next army push for 12-7. 14 hydras on the field right now. He's snooping around for bases. Nothing at the 4th. Here come Phoenixes. Actually going to meet this army. And the Hydras are going to go. There's one down, two down. Roaches streaming across the map. +1 ranged weapons about to finish up for 12-7. Second Evo chamber goes down. Oh, we're missing an engagement here. Big Hydra army against the Void Rays. The Time Warp was good for federally and actually did a lot of work. 12-7's able to use the Roaches to take out cannons and unpower the Forge. But doesn't have anything much other than few Hydras here and 14 more on the way. Federally really needs to think about taking a third base soon. Main is about mined out. Full saturation on the natural. Trying to produce off of 3 Stargates. Fleet Beacon is now out. See what he decides to do with that. Tempests. Tempest is the tech of choice. 3 of them at a time being chronoed out. Again, I say this cannot be sustained on 2 bases. There goes the third, just now coming down for federally. Phoenix is doing work on the Overlords. This is going to be a bad supply block. There's a couple here. 12-7 discovered those and is moving them, but these 2 are going to be no match for the Phoenixes. There's the supply block. 4 more on the way. And that's just to replace the 4 that were lost. "19 Hydras in the army for 12-7. 3 Tempests are out at this point. 3 more are on the way. This could get ugly in a hurry, even with the supply lead. And the Hydra push. There still may not be enough here. Upgrades are still behind. 2-1 just now underway for 12-7 for his ranged upgrades. Steady stream of Hydras at this point. 30 Hydras on the map. Rallying to what would be the 4th base of federally. Queen's going to go down. Hydra speed just about to finish up. But it doesn't give really any bonus on creep, it's an off creep bonus. There's those annoying Phoenixes. Let's see if they come back to do more work. 12-7 gets the 4th down over here on the 9 o'clock side of the map. Starts to move drones. Nothing but Hydras. And a big ball of air right over here. We'll see what happens to this. Hydras engaged. Good time warp down. The Void Rays are going to melt to all these Hydras. That leaves the Tempest to do work, and they're going to do some work. 12-7 is going to go in and try to get a little economic damage done. Now he's going to turn around and fight the Tempest. Gets 1. Gets the 2nd. I think that's about all he's going to get. 21 more Hydras coming. Spire just about finished up as well. Meanwhile, this base is finished up and is already saturated for 12-7. 64 workers to 49 for federally. Left with 5 Tempests and 3 Void Rays. 3 more Tempests coming down. 4 Phoenixes still floating around over here. So nothing but a Sky Army versus nothing but Hydras for 12-7. Hydra's going to try to pick off these Phoenixes. Looks like they're going to circle around, get position, and take them out. So the Phoenixes are no more. Infestation Pit's finished up. I'm going to assume that's for 3-3. 19 mutas now coming for 12-7. +2 armor coming in for 12-7. So Hydra Muta is the tech choice for 12-7, who currently holds about a 50 supply lead. So, and here comes the brigade. Here comes the Air Force for 12-7. All those mutas rallying over at the 4th, the would-be 4th, for Federally. Sky Army sees it and comes to engage, or maybe doesn't. No, doesn't see it. Is not set to attack. Mutas are going to make quick work of some Void Rays. Hydras are going to push back the Tempest, so the Tempest and the Void Rays are isolated. The Mutas should be able to take out these Void Rays in very short order. Over 60 supply lead now for 12-7, with 11 more Hydras coming on the way. There's the Air Army right there for Federally, with 3 more Void Rays on the way, +2 Carapace upgrade is about to finish up for 12-7. +2 air weapons for those Tempests are about to finish up as well. 4th base saturated pretty well for 12-7. Main base is mined out and the gas is mined out completely. Here comes the engagement at the 3rd. Takes out some cannons and moves on back. Not gonna risk too much. He's gotta know he's ahead, at least to some degree. He's got an army composition that counters what Federally has going on. Goes in to poke a little bit at the natural, the wall. Pushes the army back into the main, takes care of the cannons at the 3rd, and retreats again. 4 more mutas, 58 Zerglings, so I think 12-7 seeing an in-game insight is maxed out. Has over 80 supply lead at this point. 3-3 upgrades are on the way, with +1 Carapace for the mutas coming. Mutas are going to split off. No, there's nothing there. So now, where are we going? Going to rally back and come at this 3rd. Looks like Federally is, well, thinking about a push. Pick off 2 mutas rallying over to the 3rd. This 3rd's going to go down. Those Zerglings are going to do work. Army turns to fight the Air Army. Looks like everything's hotkeyed. All the Zerglings are rallying to the Air Army. There is just so much anti-air here. 50 supply lead plus. Tempests are all going to go down. The Zerglings are going to do work. 29 probes lost in this exchange by those Zerglings. Void Rays are going to get taken care of. And that's going to be the end of game number 2. And the final game of this series and the final game of the night in this broadcast. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to let the screen cycle for a little bit more so you can see the updated bracket. And again, to remind everybody about the quarterfinal round coming up on Saturday the 17th. That's at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, and you can do the calculations for all points in between. So at this point, I'm going to update the brackets and let you see those for a little bit, and then call it a night. So I'll be back in just a few minutes to wish you all a good night. All right, folks. Well, thank you very much for joining me tonight. I've had a great time. If anybody's left on stream, I applaud you for making it this far. There are two best of threes left in the round of 16. Zell versus Hyper Turtle and Atticus and Star Fox. So, gentlemen, if you're seeing this either live or on a rebroadcast, please get your matches taken care of and get the replays posted, and I'll try to get them cast as soon as I can. Again, thank you to Atticus for putting this tournament together, for organizing everything, getting all the participants together, setting the schedule, setting the rules, and it's my pleasure as my name's 12-7. It's my pleasure to be able to bring these games to you, add a little commentary, try to add a little fun to the broadcast. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you continue to enjoy the rest of this tournament. Again, for Atticus and myself, 12-7, and the rest of the Older Gamers clan, thank you for watching, and have a great night.